Well, there's a growing body of evidence to suggest that prenatal tobacco smoke increases risk of obesity. And because obesity is a known risk factor for diabetes, we thought that the prenatal tobacco smoke may also be associated with diabetes. Well, we found out that indeed the prenatal tobacco smoke is associated with increased risk of diabetes in the adult offspring. However, we were surprised to find out that that was actually independent of the obesity. Well, it probably means for care that if there is smoking in the household while a woman is pregnant, that her child has an increased risk of diabetes, and that this is regardless of whether or not the child ends up being overweight or lean. Well, I think that the public health messaging for anti-smoking has certainly become stronger and more clear worldwide, and that's a great thing. I think one of the problems with smoking during pregnancy is that a lot of times the message has to do with, for instance, risk of low birth weight. And in this era of high obesity, it might be easy for parents to misinterpret that that maybe is a good thing and not to really understand why that has negative health consequences, whereas everyone understands that having diabetes is problematic. The other thing that we found in the study is that there seemed to be lower risk, but kind of marginal risk with paternal smoking during pregnancy, suggesting that secondhand smoke around a pregnant woman can also increase the risk of diabetes in her adult offspring. And so, you know, that has implications as well, because a woman might think, oh, well, I'm not smoking during pregnancy, I'm following my doctor's advice. However, she's perhaps with a partner who's smoking or someone else. The thing about that finding in our study was we were a bit underpowered to find it as a strong effect, and the fact that we found any association at all was quite remarkable. So it's certainly something that would need to be reproduced in other studies. But if it holds true, and certainly secondhand smoke is bad for a variety of reasons, I think that it's quite easy enough to send the message to pregnant women that they should really avoid being around tobacco smoke during pregnancy. Well, I think that certainly people could take this into the laboratory to do some work on whether or not it might be causal and look for some molecules associated with the exposure that lead to the disease risk in the offspring. It would be great if some people who had human studies where they know paternal smoking as well as the outcome of diabetes in the offspring, whether or not that they could explore that aspect of our study, since we weren't able to address that as completely as we wanted to. I think that those would be excellent ways to follow up.